Welcome to the program. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy is on a tour in the United States, and today he visited an ammunition factory in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, of course, one of the battleground states that will be a deciding factor in the upcoming election, a toss-up really between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. It will be one of the most important states in the upcoming election with Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina. And the outcome of the election in Pennsylvania might very well decide who will be the next president of the United States. And in that context, it's very interesting to see the Harris campaign sort of using Vladimir Zelenskyy as a political prop. So let's have a look at what was happening today in that ammunition factory and what Vladimir Zelenskyy was saying. Here's a video that they released of his visit. Quite the high production value here. Let's move forward a little bit. See him signing shells.
I think it's safe to say that, Mr. President, you've shown the world what courage and resiliency looks like. Your profound sacrifice and those of the Ukrainian people have been nothing short of remarkable. And from all of us, in this part of the world, we thank you for your courage and your resiliency. And I can tell you from General Dynamics, 100,000 people were behind you. We know your victory is the world's victory. And so without further remarks, I pass to you, the workers of Scranton, and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
Thank you so much. This applause is not to me, really. Everything is to you and for your work. Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here with my team. And started, as I said to colleagues, started my visit to America from your city, from your plant, from Pennsylvania, and just some number. You said that 400 people work here, but I wanted very much to come here and to thank you. 400 people saved millions of Ukrainians. Because of the result of your work, I'm very thankful, just from ordinary Ukrainians to you. And what can I say? Thank you so much. You helped us to survive against Putin invasion. And thanks to your families, and God bless, everything will be very good with your families and with you. God bless America, and Slava Ukraini. Thank you again very much for everything, guys. Thank you.
And very interesting here to see Josh Shapiro behind him. Of course, Josh Shapiro, who almost got picked as Kamala's VP. And so, you know, interesting to see him coming to Pennsylvania. His first stop, as he said, and of course, that would be a very important stop for him. And no wonder they made it his first stop. Of course, trying to get some kind of score some kind of political points here as the race for the White House heats up. We can see him here signing shells with Josh Shapiro here. And Joey Manorino here, noting Zelenskyy just essentially endorsed Kamala in Pennsylvania while with Josh Shapiro autographing ammunition. He called Trump and Vance a radical. He also said Trump has no idea how to end the war. How is this not some sort of violation from men we are funding? A good question here from Joey Manorino. And he also gave sort of a quick interview here to the New Yorker, and Greg Price also here, noting that Zelenskyy is essentially campaigning for Kamala Harris. And we can have a look here at this extract from the New Yorker. And a few questions here asked to Vladimir Zelenskyy. But isn't it that yet more cause for alarm? We don't have the context here of what was said before, but of course they're talking about the Ukrainian war and Donald Trump, and what would an election of Donald Trump mean for Ukraine and the Ukrainian war. Zelensky's response being, my feeling is that Trump doesn't really know how to stop the war, even if he might think he knows how. With this war, oftentimes, the deeper you look at it, the less you understand. I've seen many leaders who were convinced they knew how to end it tomorrow, and as they waded deeper into it, they realized it's not that simple. The question from the New Yorker, apart from Trump's own reluctance to talk about Ukrainian victory, he has chosen J.D. Vance as his vice presidential candidate. He is too radical, says Zelenskyy. Vance has come out with a more precise plan to give up territories, says Zelenskyy. Your words, not mine, but yes, that is the gist of it. Zelenskyy replied, his message seems to be that Ukraine must make a sacrifice. This brings us back to the question of the cost and who should shoulder it. The idea that the world should end this war at Ukraine's expense is unacceptable, but I do not consider this concept of a plan in any formal sense. This would be an awful idea. If a person were actually going to carry it out to make Ukraine shoulder the cost of stopping the war by giving up its territories. But there's certainly no way this could ever happen. This kind of scenario would have no basis in international norms, in UN statute, in justice, and it wouldn't necessarily end the war either. It's just sloganeering. And, this is just an extract, of course, of this interview, but he also mentioned that if Ukraine was to give up on territories to stop the war, it would probably trigger a global conflict, or at least conflicts all over the world where, he mentioned, I think, Taiwan and, other places that, our geopolitical enemies might feel emboldened if they see that the U.S., to make peace with its adversaries through the proxy wars that they're fighting, were to give up on Ukraine and force Ukraine to cede territory, then perhaps U.S. geopolitical enemies would be emboldened to see it as, the outcome of a war, and that it would trigger more wars as, perhaps China would be eyeing Taiwan and thinking, well, if Russia managed to get the U.S. to give up Ukrainian territories, then maybe by going to war against Taiwan, we can force the U.S. to also give up on Taiwan. That is his opinion, of course, but it's interesting to see here that Vladimir Zelenskyy is playing politics and not officially endorsing Kamala Harris, but essentially implying that Trump would be bad and that a Harris administration would be much better for Ukraine. Of course, that is his own opinion, and we don't know actually what would come out of that. And, overall, it's sort of interesting to see that, Zelenskyy is sort of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't really have a choice because he's coming to the U.S. to sort of ask for more ammo, more weapons, more funding. And the current administration that can greenlight that is, of course, the Biden-Harris administration. So he's coming here asking for stuff. And, sort of the answer of the current administration is that, well, if you don't play ball with us, then you're not going to get anything. And so now Zelenskyy is coming here and essentially campaigning unofficially for Kamala Harris. And of course, now it's the only solution that he has. But if, the election turns out the other way around and Donald Trump gets elected, it'll be interesting to see what Zelenskyy will be doing then, and if he's going to change his tune if that was to happen. Anyway, we will see as things follow in this election. But here, last news on the election: Donald Trump, Kamala Harris debate on CNN is most likely not going to happen. Here, CNBC noting Harris agrees to CNN debate on October 23rd. Trump says it's too late. As we had predicted on the channel here on our last video, it's very unlikely that Trump is going to grant Kamala Harris another chance to sort of, come up in the polls before the election after the last debate on ABC, and especially so on CNN after, a debate on ABC that was, really 3-1. If you see how the moderators were really not impartial. And so, of course, Harris would like a debate on CNN with a similar situation where the moderators would throw softballs at her and curveballs at Donald Trump. But considering that Donald Trump did pretty well on the last debate, he's not going to give Kamala Harris another chance to be able to do well on a debate stage, especially on non-neutral territory. Of course, Harris agreeing to CNN and refusing to do a debate on Fox News. So most likely it will not happen. The only way I could see this debate happening if there is a big change in the polls and that Kamala Harris takes a significant lead, then Donald Trump might sort of come around and decide to do a debate. But if that was the case, then most likely then Kamala would be refusing to debate Trump at this time. Anyway, we will see how all this will end now. Only a few weeks left before this election. Thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.
Hit me with that like, and sub to the channel. Hit me with that like, and click the effing bell. Click that bit, alright. The algo recommends for she don't like. The algo knows you well. Hit me with that like, subscribe to the channel. Hit me with that like, and click the effing bell.